So thinking about morning reflection this morning and thinking, what does it mean to be spiritual or to be a spiritual person? And that's kind of connected with the chanting this morning, like attachment to form, feeling, perception, mental formations, consciousness. Being spiritual, does it depend on the kind of food we eat? Does it depend on having pleasant feeling and not having unpleasant feeling? Does it depend on perceiving something in a certain way? Does it depend on certain thoughts? According to the Buddha, to be spiritual, it depends on this sense of, like this quality of knowing and this quality of relinquishment. And so it's not dependent on having certain types of food or living within a certain form, and it's not dependent on trying to get pleasant feeling, trying to get away from unpleasant feeling. But to be spiritual is more dependent on being in the present and having this quality of knowing awareness and being comfortable, learning how to be comfortable with uncertainty, the uncertainty of the future, and also living in the light of death. That's also according to the Buddha, that's also how to be spiritual. And so death is the ultimate uncertainty, and it's not like embracing death in a morbid or creepy way, but more like living in the light of death in terms of death is the ultimate uncertainty off in the future, but if we're in the present, then we gain insight into uncertainty, and when we live in that uncertainty, then it becomes something which is sacred, and the present moment becomes something which is sacred, and our life then starts to have meaning. So what Dhamma practice is, and what being spiritual means, is it's a way to find some sort of essence or some sort of meaning in our life. And each day as we go about our mundane schedule, morning chanting, morning meditation, making the meal, having the afternoon, going back to our kuti, practicing sitting, walking meditation, study, having the evening chanting, meditation. And so our daily practice, we have this mundane schedule, but within that, we train ourselves to extract some sort of meaning or some sort of essence from our life, and I think that's what it means to be spiritual. So in terms of spiritual practice or Dhamma practice, how we do that is that sense of it's not just letting go of the future and letting go of the past, but it's like a radical coming into the present and learning how to be at ease, and having the faith and courage to be at ease with the uncertainty of having no future. And that comes back to what Ajahn would say, like a samana has no future. And we have no hope, but with no hope there's also no fear. So it takes a kind of courage to come back into that sense of being in the present. And also then we open ourselves to the freedom of having any potential in the future, that sense of being in the present can open up in a sense of like having rather than planning out our future in a kind of artificial way, when we come back into the present, then a pathway opens up through that, which is the proper direction according to Dhamma. So that's something to think about as we go about our mundane day. Just that's how to be a spiritual practitioner. It's not dependent on really anything, any sort of, like what we're talking about in the chanting, attachment to form, attachment to feeling, attachment to perception, attachment to mental formations, and so on. but it's more about knowing that and then letting go of the attachment. So I'll leave that for reflection this morning.